Jitendra Narain has been arrested from Port Blair on charges of gang rape and sexual abuse. The arrest follows a local session court's decision to deny him anticipatory bail. Now, soon after, a group of police officers reached the private resort where Narain was staying and then arrested him. Now, before we open up the discussion, get you more on that, let me give you some background to the case. The case against Narayan is built on the allegations by a 21-year-old woman in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Earlier this year, she was lured, she says, to the Chief Secretary's home with the promise of a job. But once there, she was allegedly raped by senior officials, including Jitendra Narain and the Labour Secretary, who's currently absconding. Following the allegations, the government suspended Narayan on October 17th with immediate effect. The Delhi High Court had initially granted him protection from arrest, but once the anticipatory bail expired, he had approached the Andaman Sessions Court. This time, the law came down heavily on him. The Sessions Court denied his request, saying the need for a custodial interrogation simply cannot be ruled out. Let me quickly go across to our guests who are joining us this evening. Brinda Adige is an activist with us on the broadcast. Rajlakshmi Joshi is a woman activist. And Rekha Agarwal is an advocate of the Supreme Court. She is joining us as well. Thank you very much, Rajlakshmi Joshi, for joining us. Can I come to you with the question about what you make of this rather unfortunate saga that had been playing out in Andaman and Nicobar Island, and no one knew anything about it till this 21-year-old decides enough is enough. This man has been promising me a job. He's been sexually exploiting me. Now he's got transferred to Delhi and I've been kept hanging here. What do you make of what has gone on in Andaman and Nicobar, and what does it tell you about, about the way women are exploited possibly by senior government officials?
Good evening, Shreya, and thank you so much for taking this up. And, I am actually appalled by the sorry state of affairs and by the gross misconduct and, so much misuse of the power. So what is transpired here is that what I understand is there is this huge number of people who have been appointed by this rogue, this person Narayan, who has appointed them just on the basis of recommendations and without any proper formal interviews and without the proper procedures involved. So I think that this actually, if this is pursued properly, I think it could even blow up into a bigger issue than it actually looks like. So it clearly shows that there is this gross misuse of power by this person. So I think that his anticipatory bail was rightly denied, and very strict action should be taken against him. And so, this is so sad that, there is this young woman who is trying to live a life of dignity. What she has said is that she has her step parents probably were not able to provide for her or refused. I'm not very clear of that. But then she has tried to live a life of dignity. And when she goes to seek a job, then this is the kind of conduct. So this is something that, this would be strictly, some very strong deterrent should be used so that such people actually are, they are discouraged from going ahead with such kind of a conduct. Because this actually makes it very difficult for young
Rajlakshmi and Brinda Adige is joining us as well. Absolutely. Brinda Adige is joining us as well. Brinda Adige, this is not just any government official. This is the Chief Secretary of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. He's the top bureaucrat there. And this is how he uses his position. This is how he uses his power. Rajlakshmi Joshi is telling me that, this could be a bigger scandal. It is a bigger scandal, actually, because there are 20 women, not just this one young 21-year-old, but there are at least 20 women who have said that they have been exploited similarly. Now, whether they're telling the truth, not telling the truth, etc., is something for the police to decide upon and investigate. But there are other women, Brinda, who have come forward. What I'm absolutely shocked and appalled at is that this guy continues to do what he did, exploit young women, sexually assault them, gang rape them with his friends for jobs, and no one says a word. I mean, there's a cook there in his house. And the cooks and the drivers, etc., have all spoken to the police, which is why I'm bringing them up. There's a cook there, there's a gardener there, there are other house help there. All have told the police that yes, women were regularly escorted to the chief secretary's official residence, but for 2 years that he continued to do so, no one got to know. How's that possible?
This man has abused his office, not simply misused. He's abused the office of the chief secretary. And he has done that because he knows women will not come out and speak about it. Classic patriarchy. Patriarchy, because he thought, or all this while he is even continuing to ask for anticipatory bail, means he thinks that women will not come out, women will not go and make a complaint, and it is their prestige, it is their respect which is at stake, and nobody will believe the woman, which is what happens in these kind of cases. So he thought that he could get away, but today that is not so. And I'm so glad that the Supreme Court said he cannot seek anticipatory bail over there and he needs to go to the lower court. And what is more important for us to understand is there are no checks and balances for bureaucrats. There are no checks and balances. There is no accountability for these people. And that is why he has got away. And like you said, it is not just a scandal. It is a crime that he has committed in that office. And he probably, not only these 20 women, maybe there may be other women who will come. And we have to wait and see. But it is now the job of the police.
There are already 20 in the line. There are already 20 in line saying that we have been similarly exploited. But yes, a case has to be built on that. For the moment, he's been arrested. Jitendra Narain has been arrested. Rekha Agarwal, the Indian Express is actually the paper that had done a fantastic investigation into this entire story. And their reporter had asked the 20-year-old, who's now married, why did you go to the chief secretary's house for a second time after you had already been sexually assaulted by him once? And she said she went in the hope that perhaps this time she would get a job. I mean, if that doesn't break your heart, I don't know what does. Rekha ji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I could not hear your question. I'm sorry.
Hi. I'll repeat my question. I was just talking about the fact that it is the Indian Express which had done a fantastic investigation into the entire case and brought the facts to light. When the reporter speaks to this young 21-year-old and says, because a lot of people have asked that question, that if you were sexually assaulted and gang raped once, why did you go to the chief secretary's house a second time? And she said, I went there in the hope that perhaps now I would get a government job. I'm saying if that doesn't break your heart, and if that doesn't tell you anything about the innocence of this 21-year-old, I don't know what does.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
Go ahead. Absolutely, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. See, I heard, I'm sorry, because of the network problem, I could not really hear you very clearly. From what I can gather is that the complainant, she went to the house 2 times. Even the second time she had a fond hope that she may be able to get a job. So, see, a lot of questions may ultimately be raised in the trial of the case when the trial starts before the court or the learned sessions judge. But as of now, this only shows I would cause the vulnerability of the complainant and the dismal state of affairs that she was in, which probably made her gullible or naive or give her the fond hope that despite the fact that she has been sexually assaulted once by the accused person, she again went the second time. So, of course, this is going to give, as far as the defense lawyers are concerned, they are going to poke a lot of holes in the FIR and the complaint, the FIR which will be registered on the complaint of the complainant. Normally, in the human behavior, a person who has been a victim of such kind of an assault would probably not go to the house of the accused again. But again, there is no hard and fast way in which a human being is going to react. This is basically a matter of criminal psychology, that what makes a person who has become a victim once, again try her luck for the second time. This, or there can be no hard and fast answer to this, that this answer is correct or that answer is correct. As I just said, this is more a matter of criminal psychology. This is going to give a big impetus as far as the defense is concerned to say that the story, that her complaint does not inspire confidence. Be that as it may, the fact remains that even if a person has gone the second time, assuming that the story of the complainant, is believed, the fact remains that she did not. If she went for the second time, it does not mean that she gave her consent, to this kind of, molestation and sexual violence. So no, by no means can it be deemed as a consent. Of course, the defense is going to say that this offense never happened even once. But probably if they make it out to be a case of consensual, a relationship, the fact that she went the second time, it would definitely does not mean that she gave her consent to be raped, by the accused person. The accused person has obviously misused
Rajlakshmi Joshi,
violation of his power, blatant violation of the power. As they say that all
absolutely,
power corrupts.
it's
and
a
absolute
blatant
power
violation
corrupts
of his
absolute
power.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolute abuse of power. And probably he was thinking, here I am sitting in the middle of nowhere in Andaman and Nicobar Island, Rajlakshmi Joshi. Who will come and question me? Delhi dur hai. This is one chit of a 21-year-old. She doesn't have the guts to complain. She has nothing on her.
Yes.
I'm the Raja here. I can do what I want. That is probably what he was thinking.
This is what power does to people. There's a very old saying which goes that all power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So this is a case where this person thought that I can literally get away with murder. Because the complainant is in a very vulnerable position. She needs a job. So let me, take my chance every time that she's over here with me. And probably she's willing. Probably he thought that, she's a willing person who's going to, be ready for any kind of sexual violation or, of a modesty by him. And this man has crossed all limits. He's taken advantage of a very vulnerable position of the complainant or the prosecutrix. And therefore he needs to, he needs to be dealt very harshly in the eyes.
Huge power differential here. What a huge power differential here. A 21-year-old, poor, looking for a job, and here's the chief secretary of the of Andaman and Nicobar. Obviously, he thought he could get away with it. Brinda Adige, before I get Rajlakshmi Joshi, and Brinda Adige, this girl didn't want to speak out. According to her, according to the interview she has given, she didn't want to speak out. It was her husband who noticed she was depressed. She tried to commit suicide. He then confronts her and tells her, tell me what is wrong. She tells him the entire story, and he is the one, the husband is the one who actually pushes this girl to speak.
Yes.
I think this is a fantastic case where the husband is supporting this wife of his to come out and make that complaint. I mean, that is a great support for her, because we know that usually families are the ones who never want to support. Families are the ones who always tell that you hide it because it is a respect, it is a prestige of the family. And that is why we don't have many women who will come out and talk. But kudos to the husband for giving this much of support over there. And I think it is now time for the state machinery to extend all the support, extend all the help and protection, because she needs this protection from this man who is powerful. He will also have a lot of powerful friends because he is the chief secretary over there, or was and right now probably suspended or whatever, I don't know. But he surely would have a lot of powerful friends. And that is why she needs protection from the state. And irrespective of her going back again, why she went back, all of those are different questions. The moot point over here, she has not given her consent. And that is rape. And that is how the court must look at it. And the court must also get all the other 19 or 20 women who have come forward. And the state must come out to say, if there is anybody else who has been victimized by this man using the office of the chief secretary, like a feudal lord, must come forward so that the state can extend protection, but also justice. That is what we want in the end. Not, brush it off and say that these women went
Yes.
there thinking that they can get this or that. No, they went for a job because he's the chief secretary. He's a powerful person and he has abused that office, which means justice must be given to each one of them who come forward and make that complaint and not use loopholes in the law to say that
And-
accused of this nature will be set free.
And justice must come quickly. It shouldn't take 10, 20, 25 years. We'll leave it there for the moment. Brinda Adige, Rajlakshmi Joshi and Rekha Agarwal, thank you very much for joining us. On that note, I'm slipping into a quick break.